Okay, so the biggest threat to Canada right now from the Trump presidency is tariffs. That's a bad thing for Canada. A trade war with the United States, our biggest trading partner by far, like so much by far, is a bad thing. But let's look at some other things, possibly even more important and more compelling about the Trump presidency. What if the Trump presidency is a huge success? What you're talking about? Huge success. Why do we have to worry in Canada? Why do we have to worry about Trump's presidency being a huge success? Okay, let me tick you off the things that define a successful Trump presidency. The first thing would be deregulation. That's something that Trump has just talked about endlessly. Too much regulation in the United States, too much regulation of everything, particularly environmental regulation. Just his position is basically rip it apart, which means his position is about energy, about American energy independence, which is summed up by three words: drill, baby, drill. So there will be like an incredible explosion of exploration, fracking, and drilling in the United States because basically throw the environmental regulations out the window, throw the costs of those things out the window, and it makes it a lot easier to increase oil and gas production. It's as simple as that. One thing to think about that, if the United States radically increases energy production in oil and gas, maybe they don't need our oil. Like we ship like 8 million barrels of oil a day to the United States from Canada. That's a huge part of our economy, huge, because it's just free taxes that come to Canadian citizens, taxes on those exports of oil. So it probably funds our healthcare if you really want to know the truth. So that's not good for us. That's terrible. What about Trump's idea of just unleashing innovation by radically reducing regulation on industry and business? Okay. Unleashing innovation. The United States is already the most innovative place in the world. As a matter of fact, the only places that are more innovative, the only country that's possibly more innovative on certain types of industries, because the United States regulates and restricts those industries, is China. For instance, China is the biggest drone developer in the world. I mean, they are so far ahead of everybody else in drone development. It's ridiculous. Part of that is their low cost of manufacturing and their massive, they graduate zillions of engineers every year. So their manufacturing capabilities are high. But in the United States, they have a crazy regulation that states the only person that can operate a drone outside of their own eyesight is an actual airline pilot. You have to have a pilot's license to take a drone past your actual vision, okay? And they've made it so hard to develop a drone industry by regulation in the United States, it's crippled compared with China's. That could change. That really, really could change. What about success in government reduction? So I'll give one simple example. Last week, Trump said every person who works for the federal government in in the United States, everybody who works for the federal government in the United States must go back to work. Period. End of story. No discussion. You don't go back, you're fired. That was his executive order. Now, I don't want to argue all the back to home stuff back and forth, back to work, stay at home, work from home. I don't want to argue any of that stuff. I just will repeat what Trump said. He said, if so many other people outside of government have to go into their office every day, they have to go to their workplace every day, then everybody in government can go to give better service to citizens of this country. Hey, that's a little hard to argue with about that one simple idea. All right, he's also talking about success in reducing taxes. A successful Trump administration reduces corporate taxes drastically and reduces personal taxes. Hey, let's just be clear. If the United States has the lowest tax environment in the world, investment is going to flood from everywhere else into the United States. That is an absolute fact. Inescapable. It's going to happen. All right. So he's also going to change like policy foolishness. He's going to say that every single leadership job in government has to be acquired by merit. You have to be the best person and not just in a specific group. He's also said that all types of DEI, that's diversity, diversity, equity, and diversity, equality, and inclusion, that every kind of DEI program is stupid, and the government of the United States, the federal government's going to cancel it immediately. Stupid, gone. Okay. Now, I don't want to fight that fight. There's some things about it that are probably fine, but it is very, very helpful to not have to spend a dime on all the training, all the review, all the discussions about, oh, is this a DEI infraction in our operation? To eliminate that completely saves money, creates efficiency, and move things along better. So this is the key. It's possible that success of many of Trump's promises and many of Trump's policies will actually make the United States a lean, mean investment gathering machine. And they literally attract money from everywhere in the world, except the places that the US says you can't send us your money, and make it more efficient, make it better, and make it a better place to do business, a better place to make money, and a better place to have higher wages, because it's just simpler and more efficient to do that. So if that's true, if those are successes, and I know a lot of people like to fight, no, it's all bad. The environment's so important. The climate change is so important. DEI is so important. Equality is so important. On and on and on and on. If you believe that, that's fine. But if it makes the United States more efficient, more effective, and more attractive to investment, it's going to leave Canada behind. That's just the truth. Hey, if it's important, you decide. You're the voters. There's going to be an election in Canada. But the reality is that it will make the United States richer if all of these suggestions and decisions of Trump actually happen.